Insta360 has come out with the Insta360 Go 3, the tiny, mighty action camera, being waterproof up to 15 meters, having a preview screen, as well as the ability to shoot any sort of shot in any sort of place because of its flexibility and the number of mounts. Before we go on with talking about the camera, we have to address the elephant in the room. I am in a different location, and where I am is actually in international waters between South Africa and Mozambique. So I am currently on the MSC Splendida, and we're gonna go ahead, test this out, and review it while on the MSC Splendida between Mozambique and Durban. So this right here is the Insta360 Go 3. And if you guys remember, I own the Insta360 Go, the original version of this camera. This version is the no-hands camera. I mean, the Go in itself is the no-hands camera. So it basically, you can just place it anywhere, shoot and forget about it. Because it has voice control, it has a whole lot of mounts that you can have POV shots, very dynamic angles and shots that you want or you can't regularly capture. The Go 3 also comes with an action pod. So the action pod actually supercharges the camera because it gives it the ability to record not just for 45 minutes with the camera alone. The action pod gives it an additional 170 minutes. The action pod also has a touch screen, so you can live preview as well as you can have a remote control. So just plop down the camera somewhere and you can sit further away and watch what's going on. Not forgetting the enormous amount of magnetic mountings, the fact that the camera comes with 2 built-in microphones and the preview screen, which is so much that we look for. The Go 3 was released in June of 2023. In terms of what we get in the box, as soon as we open the box, right, we are met with the camera, and then behind the camera we have the user guide, and we have the accessory box with our documentations, and it has a little bit of an angle mount that allows you, instead of having a straight POV shot, you could tilt the camera a little down. Other than that, here's all the accessories that comes with it. Firstly, this is like a cap clip or just a clip as such, so that you can just slot it in and then place your camera in here for you to record. Behind the clip, we have the magnetic pendant. Magnetic pendant is the perfect thing for POV shots. Just put it under your shirt and then the camera sticks to this. Then we come to our action pod. Action pod at the top, we have our record button. If this will focus. There we go, we have our record button. And then on the sides, we have a power and a menu button. And then we have the clips at the bottom, which attaches to the other mount. And then obviously the preview screen, which you can view as well as have touch controls of your camera. Then finally, we come to the angle mount as such. So this is actually very cool. The action pod can attach to this and you can use it as a bigger action camera, or if you remove this, well, this is also 360 movement, but if you remove this, the cool thing is the fact that the Go 3, this right here, can attach to this like that and it clips in. So this doubles as both an attachment for the action pod as well as an attachment for the Go 3. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the specifications. Firstly, we have to mention the fact that this is a small, lightweight form factor device. I mean, we've seen it already with how small the camera is. In terms of its dimensions, the Go 3 is 25 by 54 by 23 millimeters. The pod, when it's folded, is 63 by 29 by 47 millimeters, and then if you flip the screen out, it gives it another 39 millimeters in size. In terms of weight, the camera is 35 grams, and the camera with the pod is 96.3 grams. In terms of sensor information, this has an ISO range of 100 is to 3200 and a shutter speed of up to 120 seconds, 1/8000 to 120 seconds. In terms of the screen on the action pod, it is a articulating screen, so it can pop up and down, and the screen here is a touch screen, so we can control as well as have live preview of the camera powering on, all of those things, we've spoken about that. The camera itself, in terms of audio, has a dual mic setup, one at the top and one at the front. So whether you're vlogging or whatever you're doing, you know you're getting 360 audio. In terms of its recording capabilities, right, there's quite a few to talk about. So firstly, we have flow state stabilization. So flow state stabilization, whether you in a shaky environment or whatever, the camera accounts for that and it stabilizes the video. The second thing is 360-degree horizon lock. So that's an awesome feature, meaning that you can basically rotate the camera 360 degrees and the video itself is going to stay level with the horizon. The next thing to talk about is voice activation. So you have voice activation where I can say, hey, Insta360 go, start recording, and it'll start recording. So again, hands-free utilization of the camera. So you can just have this stuck on your chest with the pendant and want to record a point of view shot, and you just talk to it and it starts. So you don't have to use your hands and you can keep doing whatever you need to do. In terms of battery, the camera itself has 45 minutes worth of recording, and when you pair the camera with the charging pod, as I mentioned, you get 170 minutes. The Go 3 has a 310 milliamp hour battery, and the Action Pod has a 1270 milliamp hour battery. One of the most bonus features of this is the fact that it is IPX8 waterproof, the camera, so 15 meters water resistant, and the case is IPX4 water and splash resistant. Okay, so I found my way to the Portuguese islands here at Mozambique, and we've jumped off. Let's talk about the recording formats. So some of the recording formats, firstly, it does photo 16 by 9, 2560 by 1440p. It does 1:1 by 2560. It does photo at 2560 by 9 by 16 photos, as well as it does 2 by 7 by 1 in a 1088 resolution. In terms of video modes, there's quite a few video modes. Regular video, free frame video, time lapse, time shift. So time shift is moving, it's a moving time lapse essentially. And then we have slow motion, pre-recorded, as well as loop recording. The most important thing with the photo and the video is the fact that no matter what direction you hold the camera, either this way or this way, you are still recording, and in the application you can basically change what resolution you're recording in, either 16 by 9 or 9 by 16. So how we use the Insta360 Go 3, basically on the Action Pod you have a power button to turn it on, and then your Q mode to change quickly. And the one good thing is that this is a touchscreen, so you can just push up, change your ratio, your resolution. You can click it down here, you can change which mode you're in, whether you're in time lapse, time shift, video, photo, and then basically all you have to do, press the red button, it starts recording. And then what you can do from there, you can remove the Action Pod, and you can have the Action Pod anywhere, like I could have it on my chest, and it could be recording whatever I am seeing. So now, let's talk about who is this device for. This device is meant, in its name, adventurous adventurous people, because it's an action camera after all. But apart from adventurous people, just like how I've been vlogging with this, and the fact that it has a flip out screen and I can vlog, means that this works for vloggers, content creators, action loving people, because just like how it's re-energized me to vlog, this can re-energize anyone. And that's the beauty of the Insta360 Go 3, is that you can get those intricate shots that you won't normally be able to get with your smartphone or even your regular camera. The next thing is its price. So there are two variants of this, a Arctic White and a Midnight Black. Apart from the two color variants, there's three size variants: 32 gig, 64 gig and 128 gig. This thankfully is 128 gig, and I've essentially vlogged this entire week without having to need to offload any footage. So that's the best part of this camera. I'm not going to call out all the prices, but you'll see the price range at the bottom. Roughly the 128 gig in white retails for about 10,500 Rand. Okay, so now when it comes to some of my favorite features about the Insta360 Go 3, I have to mention the fact that it has a preview screen and a touch screen to control it, right? The second thing is that it checks all the boxes of being that small portable camera that no one's ever gonna suspect you about anything. With this camera, it's also cool that you have the bi-directional audio. You just take this and go anywhere. Its compactness, the flexibility of having all these different action mounts and creating all those creative scenes, and having this to review over the past couple of days has actually inspired me to start vlogging again, just because there's so much flexibility and stuff that we miss out on. And I mean, there's so much memories that register in your head, but as you get older you forget them. If you have it documented through things like this, it just gives you so much more. The fact that this has so many features, time shift, time lapse, as well as the freeform recording. So whether you placing or recording the camera in 9:16 or 16:9, so you can hold the camera in any direction and it'll record, and then in post-production with the freeform you can change it to whatever format you want. But also on the camera itself, you can specify you want 9:16 or 16:9, which is awesome for creatives because you can choose what situation or what content style you want out of the camera. So in rounding up, I think this camera for me gets an 9.9 out of 10. I'm battling to, I honestly want to say a 10 out of 10, but it'll get a 9.9 because we don't know what else is coming out there. I mean, I set this down as a time lapse, and then what I did is I just left it and I stepped quite a bit back and I was viewing it in the preview screen. Even when you put it on your camera with your cap clip, you just clip it up there, you're seeing it in your hand and you're just doing whatever. So that's the reason that it scores so high, and I mean, it's just made my experience here on the MSC so much more better. So with that being said, a big shout out to African technopreneurs who have loaned me this device, essentially leaving the country with it, and they've made my experience on the MSC Splendida so much more better because I got to create content, show you all these awesome creative shots almost. And I mean, being on the ship, everyone wants to pull out their camera, and here you have me pulling out this. It's just next level. But guys, a big shout out to them. If you want to purchase one of your very own, there is a link in the description below to 180x2, which is African Technopreneurs resale store, or their store, and you can pick up one there. But guys, a big thank you and for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving a like rating if you did. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future content. And as always guys, my name is Prashant and I'll catch you in the next video.